Hey everyone, it's Jasmine from New Paradigm Beings. I hope everyone's doing really awesome. If you live near the coast or if you live in eastern or southern Texas, you know that we have been in a rainy spell. And it's been really awesome. Like, this has been the most cleansing experience that everyone has had in a long time. So I'm biased because I love the rain. So it's been a really good season for me to do videos. I've been getting a lot of supernatural information and a lot of just other information and experiences that have helped me excel on my journey and for other people's journeys. And for those of you who have been following my channel, I really appreciate any, that the likes, the comments, and subscriptions that you've all made. I do not intend for my channel to be very commercial. I'm not expecting a lot of traffic. But of course, I expect, given that this is my mission by spirit and I'm expressing that, I do expect some people to be able to benefit, like, from what I'm here to share and what I'm here to spread to the rest of the community. And yeah, I don't have a lot to I don't have a lot to reflect from a lot of the mainstream channels. I feel this is probably something that's quite different, and this is very, like, personal. It's very personally, it's about personal work. It is about inner work. It is about what some people might consider the hard work. And it's not, my videos may not be those, that material that you can probably curl up into bed, watch a video about a divine masculine reading and what he's hopefully doing to himself so that you may magically come into union. No, this is not what this channel is about. This is about looking at yourself, putting your head down, putting yourself to the limestone and working, doing that outer work, doing that inner work. And a lot of people might feel that sounds harsh right about now, but I really don't feel that way. I feel that I see that there's too much escape into comfort zones, considering where I've seen the twin flame YouTube frenzy, where I've seen that go within the past 3 years on YouTube. The twin flame community started out as something that was relatively private on YouTube, where there were a lot of people, like, really going through Kundalini crack house at the time, and they were, including myself, and they were looking for things to kind of latch onto and give them some type of clarity. And unfortunately, a lot of those people, or a lot of that traffic, has been taken advantage of, and it's led to a lot of commercial theatrics. And today, like, that's kind of how I feel about a lot of the mainstream readings and a lot of the mainstream videos. It's just kind of turned into a big comfort zone, and you don't really find a lot of people. It seems like a lot of people are just in the same space they were 3 years ago, and we've just kind of lost, like, well, what's the whole point of this, And I'm here to, I'm here to stay true to that. So, no matter what happens as far as the popularity of this channel, I really do stand in that truth. I really do take that very seriously, and I'm not going to alter this channel to attract traffic or to manipulate views for money or anything like that. As far as monetization goes, like, that will come in its own time. But for right now, like, this is me, this is the truth, this is my channel, and what I'm authentically given to spread to a larger community. So thank you so much for listening to that. Today, I want to, there's something very serious I want to talk about, and it has been, it's been within the last week of practice and hunkering down in the home that I've been doing with my my meditation and my personal practice, in my communion with God, in my communion, like as a divine feminine. I want to talk about twin flames, goddess Bhairavi, and goddess Shakti, as well as the Kundalini process. Okay. So what is Bhairavi? Bhairavi. Everyone here has heard about Shakti. They've heard about the goddess Shakti. Everyone knows Shakti as like the all-encompassing divine feminine, as a concept that's very popular in Hinduism. Well, to begin with, like, all of us are probably familiar with what Kundalini is. Kundalini is the energy that is dormant within the spine, within the base of the spine. Kundalini, by looking at the word, I can assume that Kundalini means little coil. Lini is usually a suffix for something small. Excuse me. Excuse me. And it's the dormant energy that we have learned, when awakened, bursts through the base of the spine. 144, thank you. Bursts through the base of the spine, grows up into, shoots through into the crown of the head, and becomes lively. It becomes awake, and that's the gift that we get from Mother Earth, to be awake in her divinity and how she relates to the rest of the world. We've seen this in depictions of the caduceus, which is the medical symbol with the two serpents swirling in the middle and ending with the wings at the top, the wings right here. So that's kind of like the physics of what Kundalini is. Kundalini experiences are usually explained or recorded as something that is incredibly intense and can be incredibly dangerous, given the mental. If someone is not mentally prepared for that, it can cause them to go insane, because you are just like, your skull is just cracked open, you're awake, and there's nothing you can do about it. Which is why people do not encourage those to go into to go into just chasing after this Kundalini experience. It's something that is supposedly achieved through a slow and meditative intentional process, and it is not something that all its advocators have considered possible to achieve just on its own or spontaneously. So again, like, it's not something that the populace considers possible to attain spontaneously, nor is it something that people say you can achieve, like, without a slow process. I feel one of the only, if not the only, exception to that rule is being a twin flame. Twin flames are off of the chart of expectation universally, and I think if you're a twin flame, you can understand where I'm coming from. Being a twin and meeting your twin and having that interaction on its own, and being the eternity to another half, is grounds of having the soul spirit wake up the Kundalini in your body. So in my knowledge, like, just being a twin itself is just access to the Kundalini energy, which was part of what we remembered from waking up. Like, we had that fever, we had that awakening, we had that very, especially females. I think that, I'm not saying that this can't happen for males, but I think for females especially, which is why I'm centering this reading on the feminine energy, it shot straight up through us like crazy. It just went and we shot off. We woke up like a freaking rocket ship. We had we had that clairvoyance. We had all the symptoms of the Kundalini awakening. We had that fever where you're just like, you just kind of collapse in your body temperature just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing to the point where like you feel all the death. You feel we and the spirit, the dark night of the soul experience is going through spiritual death. It is going through all of these things, but Kundalini has to do with the body and the physical body of having to be incarnate and go through what feels like that physical hell. When you get that Kundalini, that ascension fever, so to speak, it feels like your organs are shutting down. It feels like you are going to die, and you're just kind of observing that, like, okay, like I think I am dying, and this is what it is. So again, like you feel like, okay, you're sweating, and for people who just don't sweat like that, it is something else. And I've been able to sweat since then. I grew up as a hardcore athlete, and part of that has to do with like the conditions that my spine has been put through. I've been a hardcore athlete all my life, and I have not needed to sweat. I've never broken a sweat. And it's something that I probably just inherited from my dad's side of the family. We just never sweat. Like we sweat in the areas where you're expected to sweat, but we never broke a sweat. We never had, we were never even shining in the sun compared to our athletes, our fellow athletes. It's just something that we didn't do. But when I was going through this ascension fever, I was sweating and profusely sweating for the first time. I was seeing orange and green. Like the colors, my fever, probably due to the fever, had gotten so high that I couldn't, like everything was just distorted, like you hear in the movies or in the doctor diaries or something. There was a crushing pain in my bones and crawling on my skin. It was like fire going through your body. It hurt to breathe. It was just like something that we were strong enough to go through in particular. It was, if I can liken it to fantastical experiences and to real life experiences, if you've ever read the Twilight Saga, the Twilight Saga ended, spoiler alert, the Twilight Saga spoke a lot about what it was like to turn into a vampire, where you went through the worst experience of like giving birth and like passing a kidney stone and like getting your limbs chopped off without, medication. All that pain, that bone crushing pain that you went through to become a vampire was very real in this ascension flu. Heroin withdrawal. Like this is why we can understand things like that, because we went through that hell chamber without actually having to be a heroin addict or having to become a vampire. This is like the essence of the body's hell and back. So in other words, that's a part of the Kundalini. That's why some people call it the Kundalini crack house. And us females had to go out into the world every day and continue a sane routine while going through that insanity, for us and for the rest of the world. Okay, and it's a blessed experience. It's the most beautiful experience. It sounds sick. It's really the most beautiful experience that I could have gone through. And I mean, this is all a part of coming into the whole, coming into the infinity, going all the way down to the depths and all the way up to the heavens, as Jesus Christ did in the Bible, for example. But with that being said, I want to talk about Bhairavi. Who is Bhairavi? What is Bhairavi? Bhairavi is the goddess of Kundalini. She is the goddess of the coiled energy at the base of the spine. So if Kundalini had a goddess, Bhairavi is her name. So Bhairavi is the goddess of Kundalini. Okay? She is the burn, the fire, the intensity, like she's like the little crazy, like at the bottom, in the root chakra. She is the burn that is related to Kali, aka the base of holy destruction. I also nicknamed her Happy Pain. Like I nicknamed her that because she is she brings about all the harsh, intense, like nerve-wracking things that bring a beautiful birth into the world, which is something that I experience in continuing this physical and this spiritual process of coming into the one. She is related to like the destruction of birth, like giving birth, and we all know what happens when you give birth. She is also related to in self-indulgence, and alcohol and lust. Excuse me, which is has a lot to do with what I was in a positive way, for the women right now, the divine feminines, to be in a more self-indulgent space, drink red wine, and be very personable in this self-care space. Bhairavi is the goddess of that egg, or that personal space. She's the burn that's associated with the death to give way to even better, a better creation. She's like, like the little version of Kali, so to speak, but she's associated with the Kundalini itself. Okay, so when we're decalcifying through yoga and Kundalini yoga, as I was talking about, is imminent on decalcifying meta-bodily and bodily tubing, meaning our arteries, our veins, and our sushumna, and every invisible tube as well, our air tubes that connect our spiritual channels and our as well as our veins. And Patricia McNeely also teaches a lot on this, like what's related to what I'm talking about. So through decalcifying all of this stuck energy, and the work and the breathing that is required to go through this, to do so, it clarifies the dharmic path. So it's kicking out the karma to better clarify the dharmic path and increase our ability to fulfill the dharmic path. Okay? So Bhairavi is really associated with the microcosm, or the microcosmic activity of Shakti. Okay? So when I'm working with Bhairavi, and it's kind of unintentional when you're doing Kundalini yoga, when I am invoking Bhairavi, I am continuing to keep my root chakra advantageous to the rest of my body, to my roots. I'm respecting my feet that's on the ground, that is here to do a mission, to work a mission. And I'm allowing my feet to have a relationship with my head. So that all of my being can work together and burn the little toxins and the little lies that stay connected into our cellular memory, into our space, so that our actual essence, our actual communion with earth can stay pure, and so that we can actually be a worthy vehicle and a worthy presence to fulfill our mission or our twin flame dharma, um instead of just kind of like letting this passively go by, just kind of sitting on the couch being a couch potato and complaining about our days or our twin flames or our jobs or how we're going to get to the next, just staying in stagnation and letting that be the truth for any time in our lives. It takes fire to purify those lies. It takes passion to purify those lies out of our existence. Okay, so again, like you can, I don't want to say too much, like I feel like you can intuit this if you are truly who you are. If you're truly who you say you are, you can intuit what this energy means. So working with the Kundalini presence and working with the intentive presence and the truthful presence of God, you can call Bhairavi and do your research and allow her to consciously like her energy to consciously go to war for you inside of your body and inside of your mind, and hold it down for the union and hold it down for yourself, and be more responsible and more authentic with your emotions and how you act and how you process challenges and how you process taking responsibility around the house, whether it be chores, whether it be interacting with people who are whose souls are hungry, in just your everyday life. Okay, step by step. Like I said in my last video, please check my last video as a follow up, or if you would like to. I talk about like getting that step to step basis to fulfill the dharma and to like come into union and come into personal union and physical union with your beloved. Okay. All right, so, excuse me, moving on to Shakti. Again, Shakti being the macrocosmic, universal divine feminine who gave birth to, or has many expressions, such as Kali, such as Bhairavi, etc. She is universal energy, universal potential, also called Chi, which we have all heard before. In a segment with Sadhguru, found on isha.sadhguru.org, in reference to depictions of goddess Kali standing on top of Shiva's chest, who was slain, Sadhguru states that the masculine is lifeless unless it is invigorated by the feminine. So again, like you can picture Kali standing on top of Shiva, who I believe she had slain herself. Sadhguru states that the masculine energy is lifeless unless it is invigorated and triggered, aroused, and whatever word I can, attracted by the feminine energy. So the feminine that can work and provide for herself she's actually the grounder for the masculine energy. And this actually makes sense when you think of the electric and the magnetic, where where the feminine home is magnetic, grounding, impregnable. In the electric the electric energy belongs to the masculine. That's linear, it's jutting, and it impregnates. Okay, we all understand this. I don't have to get too deep into it. We understand our rod and staff, plus and minus. So that's what Sadhguru had to give to the audience about the masculine, the feminine's autonomy compared to the masculine. Okay, and I will put links in the description. I feel this is pertinent to the females, and the role as the holy space for twin flame union. Okay, they are the grounds for holy union. That has everything to do with Shakti, actually. When relating to Shakti, and upon growing your Shakti energy and your Shakti existence, practicing growing the Shakti, or growing the universal divine feminine, the authoritative feminine, the feminine who decides whether or not to keep a child, or to whether or not to divorce her husband, whether or not to keep a kingdom, or for the kingdom to be destroyed by war. The all divine mother and the taskmaster. Some advice to more fulfill your Shakti, or to grow closer to this energy, is to notice subtleties. Okay, so this is like the more macrocosmic work, as far considered. I'm sorry, in contrast to like the nitty gritty, super focused, like exercise, breathing techniques, the snappy energy of the Bhairavi, destructive force. Maybe when it comes to like the fast death of like breaking down, and like the pain that you feel when you're exercising, and the tears that you cry when you feel that things are being broken down. That's like Bhairavi. That's like a Bhairavi energy that you can invoke when you are in a serious state of prayer. With Shakti, it's like, let's say you complete an exercise, and you're allowed to sit there and rest and feel the residue of those actions. You can feel your heartbeat. You can feel the power, and the Kundalini power surging through your hands and your feet. You can feel it surging through your organs. You can see how the lights turn different colors, and you can see how you can see your relationship between your work and the light of day. Okay, that's being intimate. That's like when you like, maybe even when you masturbate, if you masturbate, when you really like go within those spaces and make an intention to put forth a creation. It's being very intimate. Even when I sit here and I think of that breath, I think Shakti is. Something that's knowing who we are far beyond the body. Knowing who that our higher self is actually the God, and something that's so much higher than us, but yet it is us, and it is constantly allowing us to come closer and closer and closer, so that we may one day be one once again. That's calling upon Shakti. Okay. So these are amazing goddesses that I have been using very closely, and who have stayed relevant for this time between the feminine and herself, and being encased in this warm cocoon where it's cool and rainy outside and everything in here is warm and powerful, and very sexually attractive. Everything feels like salvation every day. And it feels like there is a home to come to for the beloved. There is a home to come to for this sacred union. Okay. So what is karma? Karma is the reason that we feel the happy pain of releasing resistance, the happy pain of the ego being able to collapse because it realizes that pain and pleasure is the same thing. Okay. Karma are blockages to mission. They are falsehoods that the mind has created between us and mission, and that have been entered into cellular memory as belief or false truth. Things that saturate within the body and cause them to work far under their capacity due to obtaining a codependent stature. Karma is blocks to mission. Usually subconscious, right? Karma is usually subconscious. Karma is the blockade to fulfilling dharma. And everyone on the inside know what their specific dharma is, right? And it's harder to understand that when we are blocked with karma. Overall, like if you are a twin flame or just someone who understands their divinity and they're watching this video, you know that your dharma is holy union. Your dharma is spreading awakening about others' individual dharma. You know that it's spreading love and allowing yourself to be the channel for Earth to work her capacity and break the bonds of slavery over Gaia and creating that new Earth, and allowing allowing people to understand better that they deserve something like that if they just allow themselves to have true love. We all understand our larger dharma. But unfortunately, like we get stuck within our karma. And it's up to us to understand that we have the tools, if willing to go for it. We have the tools to dissolve this karma. Okay? So with the help of Shakti and Bhairavi, the essence of mastering this Kundalini miracle that we have as masculine and feminine is clearing the present and past life karma and manifesting the way forward as we dissolve and destroy the karma. We create forward, we destroy it some more, we create more. This is like braiding. It's braiding, and like the Trinity. You braid the masculine and the feminine and the third energy, the masculine and the feminine and the third energy. It's just like that. It's braiding life, enjoyment of life, then destruction of life. Life, enjoyment, destruction. That is the way, that is the Trinity. That's what mastering this process is like. And keep it honestly focused. Don't don't take this teaching about Bhairavi and Shakti as a salvation or a way to get into union. This is information. This is just me speaking to an ear that is able to hear and integrate these teachings to be able to whip their way forward in their own intuitive practice, so that they may integrate this into their dharma and then move forward in a more powerful strut, so that the next person, can also learn their personal dharma and learn how they can pass that on to others, so that we can all strengthen each other as a community. We're not here to make commercials for ourselves. This is a community victory. This is a victory within Gaia's community, within the Twin Flame community, to be able to stand up with our power and with our spines, our own spines, and come together as one. Okay? Okay. So, manifesting the way forward. I love it. Okay, and I just want to point out, I am proud to say that Kundalini, like going through like these experiences that I did about 3 years ago, it whooped my ass like in a really cool way. It really did whoop my ass in a really awesome way. Like I was just in the middle and I understood, wow, I know what is going on. I know what is dying, what needs to die, and what is coming, and what needs to come in. And I am here to wait. And although I came out of the more, like, the physical climax of that, when looking back, I'm just coming in, I'm just basically cooling down now. Like, it was an awesome experience. And I know my twin flame went through it, or is going through his version of that right now, still. And it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's to have this peaceful understanding, and to have to understand the meaning of pleasure, pain, the meaning of knowledge, and the meaning of what love is. This is all a Kundalini process. I actually had an accident, and I'll go in that maybe in another video. I had something happen with my spine, and I'm perfectly healthy. I just woke up one day and I couldn't walk, and it twisted my body. Like, I've been in that. It twisted my body going on 4 years now, and I'm just really getting serious about straightening myself up again, and going to the chiropractor, and doing yoga, and of course Kundalini yoga, because it's spinally focused, to get myself perfected and ready once again to have my mission, and to have what my higher self has worked so hard for me to have here on this planet, and to share with others. That is so worth it to me. It is so worth it to me to get my ass up and do the work. Like, it's so, it's beautiful. You can't have one without the other. And that's what I'm here to share. Like, it's this beautiful work is so worth it. And with that being said, like, twin flames are not victims of Kundalini. Twin flames are masters of Kundalini. Of what we are going through. We're not victims of what we're going through. We're masters of it. Okay? No matter what's going on with your twin, like, you're doing it too. Like, you're doing it right here. Whether you think it's good or bad, you are doing it right here. And don't be fooled by the delusion. You are doing what you're called to do right now, as you breathe, as you fart, and as you cuss. Like, you are doing what you're called to do right now. Okay? So taking responsibility right now earns you your manifestation and 3D union. Okay? It doesn't work anywhere else. We're not here to be on the ground and not build something upward. And we're definitely not here to pretend that we're already living in the sky and be of no earthly good. Okay? Let's be real with that, you know? Let's be real. We understand what it means to be whole, even if our outside environment may not understand that as well. But there's oneness even when you observe that. Okay, everyone comes into oneness over time in their own way. Let us not judge. Let us only be open to ourselves and be responsible for ourselves and love others, for we were once in the darkness as well. Okay, so with great power comes great responsibility. And these small everyday practices, as the monks taught us, these small everyday practices and these everyday dedications and this everyday love, it's very simple. When you get up and you feel that you feel something on you in the morning, and you go into meditation and you open your mouth and you say, sacral chakra, I feel like I know you better now. I feel like I feel what's going on with you. Speak to me. I'm here to listen. Let's heal some sexual trauma together. And you go in and you say the prayers, like you speak to that, and you go down to the root of what's going on with you, and you say, so and so, I forgive you, or I forgive myself for causing this to happen. There's nothing but love. Let's do some stretches together. Let me make a day that's just honoring you. Teach me how to speak. Teach me how to listen as the sacral chakra listens. Teach me how to lead as the sacral chakra leads. And it will guide you there. Like, this is the awesome power about God. It's like an awesome video game where you get to be like, okay, I'm gonna level up my shield today. I need to learn some new defense moves. I need to go fight these enemies because they are beneficial to learning this skill. This is an awesome video game. And the prize of that every day is super awesome. It's so awesome. It's a never-ending union. Like, no wonder you met your twin. Like, this is the awesome game that it is. So keep living it. Keep working it. Like, because there's no game over. So keep having fun. Stop pitying yourself, you know. There are a couple literatures that I would like to promote. Here is the essence of Chan. It's about the Chan masters and their understanding of integrating duality into one service. I'm going to leave that in the description box. And of course the 4 agreements. Okay, which I believe has to do with, I believe it's Toltec wisdom and how to see the world clearly. The essence of delusion, the essence of truth, and why we encompass both of these in our existence today. Okay. And the last thing I want to touch on is, oh my God, why all this fire? There's so much fire. There's so much destructive energy. There's so much intensity for a lot of people right now. So why so much fire? Like I said before, at least personally, I came into this energy toward the end of the summer, and it was just like something was calling me. I was like, oh my God. The divine feminine's on fire. Like, she's waving her wand in the air. She's going for it. She's striking her chords. She's She's manifesting. She is loving herself. She's drinking wine. She's dancing. She's playing music. And she's here to, she's willingly putting her hands and her head into the fire, not to be burned, but to be purified, so that she understands the essence, or she understands the sensation of transformation. She understands the sensation of transformation. And it's taking advantage of that, and it's pushing that forward. It's, for me, it's just basically like, it's being obedient to the season that you feel yourself in. Maybe not all the feminine, all the divine feminine, of the divine feminine as a collective is in such a burning energy. I know for me, and maybe a lot of other feminines, I am in that right now. Later on, I'll probably go into something more cooler. I'll probably go into, I feel myself going into Kemetic yoga and Kemetic study later in the winter time. And I feel like, I even feel the divine masculine wanting to explore a more cosmic energy. And I'm going to touch on that in my next video. But for me, I really do, I felt that calling. I felt that fire, and I rose my fists in the air. I took my arrow, dipped it in oil, dipped it in fire, and I shot it straight up to my higher self. That's how I'm harnessing the Kundalini to fight in spiritual warfare and succeed. Okay? And it's a beautiful working thing. Well, that's all I have to offer as far as this session goes. Please, if anyone has any questions, I'm more than available to help everybody here. Again, this was a session on twin flames in relation to the Kundalini energy, and goddesses Shakti and Bhairavi. Bhairavi being the goddess of Kundalini. Okay. I will be making another video. It's going to have to do with the divine feminine and the divine masculine, who is astral traveling right now. They're definitely up there doing some interesting things. And I'm going to be talking about that. Some very, very interesting information to be going around in the twin flame community right now. Yeah, so, all right, stay tuned. Next time I'm going to put my descriptions in the box as I promised, and I will also leave my email. I do reading sessions, Reiki sessions, other sessions, you name it. I really want to get in touch with you. If there is any service that you want from me, just let's talk. We can work something out. I definitely want to be able to give offer myself to you on your journey. And until then, like, everybody, take care. Feel free to share my videos. And yeah, I'm really in a great space, and I'm glad to be here with all of you. Love, essence, peace, forgiveness, and all the wonderful things. Alrighty. Goodbye.